Hi, it's Pilar Kellenbarger with Collecting Our Angels, Nurturing Our Children. And before I start telling you some ideas and strategies on how to approach your homeschooling, I'd just like to say to my daughter, at this very moment, 24 years ago, she was born, Tara, happy birthday. So was getting some great ideas, but also some intense energies when it was told in California here that homeschooling was going to have to occur again or virtual online instead of attending school live. I was listening to Kyle Cease. He was a comedian. He's now a spiritual healer, teacher, and it's called Switching Timelines. When I listened to that a few times, it really gave me some great ideas to help other moms. The intensity of the energy is really high. So I thought, how can I help? And this is what I would like to do for you guys. So we know like the shift is happening. In the US, some states like ours are going virtual learning. And I know a lot of you moms are thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? What do I do? What do I do? So just take a breath and let it out. And just remind yourself that we're all in this together. I know a lot of parents think, oh my gosh, what about my daughter or son's learning? It's going to be fine. Everyone's in the same boat. It's going to be fine. Everybody will progress. So I know a lot of people are feeling scared and they're feeling fear. And it's to be expected. You can't just say, oh, I'm not going to have fear or I'm not going to be scared. Simply feel the pain, feel it, see what it brings up for you, and then just thank it. Thanks for coming by and let it go. If we look back in history, we had that Spanish flu where people wore masks and things like that. Maybe show that to your kids. See, it has happened before, and we will get through it. There was also the polio virus that was going around. Our parents, my parents, were in that timeline where they could have gotten polio. So other people have been compromised just in their own communities. And how did they get through it? How did they live through it? So, if you're scared, think about what Kyle C says in his video. It's awesome when you hear it. One way, the old way of having to know the next step is gone. We always lived with, okay, what's the next step? Okay, I see the next step. This is what I'm going to do. But now we need to just enjoy the moment. So you might think, well, if I'm just sitting around enjoying the moment, how am I going to know the next step? The next steps show up. They just show up because you're being open, you're being relaxed. Think about going to a spa. When you go to a spa, we like to get a massage or, take a bath, or we have essential oils. We have really wonderful, healthy food. Just create that in your home. Wow, that would be amazing. Another example, I thought back in my own life was when I was a child and the movie American Graffiti came out. And that was the time when my parents grew up. We went to the movie. They bought the album. Remember albums? And on the albums, they used to have like pictures and things. And I remember looking at them and listening to the music and like them talking about the different things that they had. That's something we can do. Pull out the music that you listened to back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010, even 10 years ago, and play for your kids and tell them the different things that you had to endure and things that you had to go through. We have the power, and it's available for all of us. Just to this morning, I was doing a meditation with Deepak Chopra. and it was the peace and joy meditation. And it really made me see how we can create that for ourselves. The exercise was to calm yourself, being quiet, and think of that time in your life that brought you joy and try to be in it again and feel those feelings. And then you will feel your joy. It sounds so simple, yet it works. I go back to my joy when I was in Maui, geez, years ago. And I was sitting on a lounge chair looking out in the ocean and watching whales breach. Oh my gosh, that just brought me such joy. And I had my husband take a picture of me looking out. And then I took the photo and put it on my refrigerator. So as I was raising my children and I needed that moment to find my joy, it was there. So try that. It's a really good idea and it really worked for me. But I know that some of you might be thinking like a question. Here's a question that came up. But if I just sit and connect and not do anything, how does that help? Well, think about this. Kyle reminds us that the earth rests. It was resting. We need to rest. When the earth was resting when we all went in isolation, in quarantine around the world, the skies and the air and the water cleared up. Look at the beauty it brought. So we can do that for our bodies. So one thing I wanted to remind you is that you can't fight it. The more you fight it, the harder it's going to be. This is something that I teach my students. When they're learning something new, they can feel very emotional and frustrated and they can feel bad because it's hard. But I always tell them, oh my gosh, that's exciting. You should be excited right now. And they look at me like, what are you talking about? And I tell them, you are learning. This is your moment of learning, so embrace it. Get excited. It's okay. You will understand it sooner or later. So try that as the homeschooling is going on, or jot this down and let the nanny or babysitter or tutor know this and practice this with them. So two things I would do in my home is make sure there's expectations and mindset for these children of yours. When I would teach, I would always tell them my expectations of them. You need to try your best. Today, you might be at 80%, not 100%, so you need to try your best at your 80%. Remind them how sometimes you might only feel at 80% and you go to work and you do your best. So they can relate and see, wow, mom and dad do the same thing. Say positive words. This is the biggest thing that you can do. Constantly tell them they're awesome. Constantly tell them they can do it. It really makes a difference. What they say, they believe. I will put on in the blog, I will have this attachment. It's a growth mindset for kids. You can go online and put that in and this should pop up. So it looks like this. And these are things that children can say when they get stuck, when they are frustrated. So they might say, I'm not good at this. Well, have them say out loud, what am I missing so I can be good at this? They might say, I give up. Have them say, I'll use a different strategy. It's good enough when they might be doing a writing or something. Is this really my best work? These are wonderful, wonderful ways of doing this. My friend can do it. And they can reply, I will learn from them. This is amazing when you're working in groups as well. So I will have that up on my blog. or go to, or just Google growth mindset chart for kids, and you can see it and print it out. That's the thing. Create your home the way that the teacher would create her classroom, with these positive things. Uh, let's see, what else did I want to tell you? They are in control of their own mindset. This chart helps them to remind themselves that they can do that, and then model it for them. I always would say, oh my gosh, I'm trying to do something on the computer and it just doesn't go right. I'm just going to give up. No, you know what? Maybe I can try a different strategy. The more you model it, the more they will believe it, and start saying things themselves. Oh my gosh, the funniest thing, an example in real life. When my daughters were young and I was staying at home, I didn't have much money, so I did the best things I could to provide the best views and things. Well, where I live, there's this restaurant, and you can go upstairs and go outside on this porch area, and it has the best view of the ocean and the waves. Just beautiful. So I only had enough money when we would go for a baguette, a toasted baguette, and a large smoothie. Upstairs, they had a couple of extra cups I could grab, so we all three shared the smoothie. And then I asked them to cut the baguette in thirds. And they would go up, and it was more of like a kind of self-service too. You got your own like jam or knife and fork and napkins and water. And we'd sit there and they would just eat it and enjoy it. Well, we went there years later. We did this several times. And then when they were older, they went, and we went with a friend, and they were looking at the menu, and I was like, so what do you guys want to order? And they were like, well, I thought there were only baguettes and smoothies. No, because I told them that's what they believed, and they enjoyed it and they loved it. So it is what they hear, what they believe. When I taught my children how to swim, they used those little floaties on the arms. Now they have something that connects them, but the old style floaties on their arms, you would blow them up. And when my daughters were doing really well, they learned to swim early. Of course, we live out here in California, at around age 2. Well, I would let the air out little by little, and they would come up to me and say, this is not filled. So I would pretend to blow it up, and they would say, it still needs air. No, you're fine. You can do it. And then that's how they learned to swim. Finally, they could swim, and they could just take them off because there's almost no air in them. So there are things that you can do. They will believe you, but you have to create the positive home. You have to create that for them. Again, the chart, the affirmations, creating it. Also breathing, just having them breathe, having them take a break. Just take a break. They take breaks at school. The teacher might just stop, everybody breathes, everybody just relaxes, listen to some meditation music for 5 minutes, and then go back to work. It does a body good. You will see the difference. 3 things you can do also for your child to help them connect with themselves during this homeschooling time is to have them, again, do meditation or quiet time where they could do that joy practice, where they could think of a joyful time and bring more joy into themselves, and also journaling, writing down how they feel about things. For meditation, just no matter what your beliefs are, meditation is a way for you to calm yourself, to have lower blood pressure, and to just have some really great well-being. That would be 3 great things for them to connect to themselves and practice those daily. Again, you can't fight this, what's going on with the schooling, but embrace it. The more you fight, the more you can't be in the flow. The more you're in the flow, the more that ideas will come to you. For instance, 2 ways that I do things is you could either create frustration by watching the news, be on social media and arguing, or limit news, limit your social media. I only use mine to lift people up and then I can be in the flow. Here are some great things that I will put up above. I will type them in, but these are great things that teachers use. There's a teacher, her name is Nancy Green, or you can go to brainhighways.com. She also has a TED Talk, and she has fun educational programs to improve learning, focus, and behavior. So if you find that with your student at home, look into her website, watch her TED Talk, watch some of her videos, and they will be very helpful for you. Another one is Jack Hartman, 2 N's. JackHartman.com. Oh my gosh, he's wonderful. I've been to schools where they use him in kindergarten, first grade. Super fun learning songs, like learning the alphabet, the sounds of the letters, holiday things. Another one for movement and mindfulness is a lot of kids are familiar with this. It's called Go Noodle. GoNoodle.com. Start an account. It's for free. You can watch these videos. This is a great thing to do where, they're going to get, a little down. They're going to get frustrated with math maybe, or the assignment in writing, and just take a break and do some Go Noodle. Awesome. NancyFetzer.com is let me make sure I got that correctly. Yes. Down here in Southern California, she has these organizers to help students write their narrative, expository, or opinion pieces that the schools teach them. Her ways are brilliant. Sometimes kids don't know what to write. They don't know how to place it on the paper, and her organizers show them where to put the words and what goes here and there. And if they practice it in that form, then they can write it. Yes, it's in the curriculum. She does have videos online, and you can also watch those to help you understand how to teach it, or how the teachers were teaching it. Not necessarily doing everything she does. She's very excited about her writing, and she's very good at what she does. But we're not all teachers, but we can take the different things that she uses and use those to help teach our teachers. Have your tutors maybe look at these. CGI Math is the new math that they use here in Southern California. And you can go to www.cgimath/tlc.org. And there are videos. CGI stands for Cognitively Guided Instruction. And it's basically how does one think when they have a word problem? And what kind of ideas would you use? Because we all come up with different answers with our math differently. So it's a really great way for kids to see that there isn't just one way to do math. Awesome. One thing that was really great that you could orchestrate yourself, because this is your time to teach your kids what you want them to know as well. I bought these years ago, but they're online for free. The Century, America's Time. Google that, and all of the videos are there. There are 6 volumes, and each volume has 2 to 3 sections. Each section's about 14 to 18 minutes. They're all online, and it's about it was done in association with History Channel, and it is narrated by the late Peter Jennings. He was on ABC News, World News anchor, and he was a journalist back in the 60s and 70s. And it's about the 20th century and how the rise of the U.S. as a superpower and all the things that happened. This is a really awesome thing to go and look for different ways. Like if you look back in the 60s, the different protesting that was going on, just like now, show them this is what was happened in the past. This is wonderful, and it's free. So maybe put that into your schedule. That would be awesome. Again, I'm going to have up the video, Switching Timelines with Kyle Cease. Just Google Kyle Cease, Switching Timelines. It should pop up. There's other videos he has as well. There's a book that I recommend all moms. It's by Matt Kahn, Kahn. The book is called Everything is Here to Help You. Oh my gosh, it will just open up your mind and make you calm and make you see that you can do this. Another great place for you to help you is my book. I wrote a book called Parenting Scholar Athletes, and it's a way to raise your children to see that you can raise them no matter what. Like, all children need to become independent people, and these four keys of raising independent children in my book will work. The big key is consistency in everything that you do in your house. Be consistent. Um, these are a few chapters. It has 18 chapters, 17, 18 with an introduction. Read the introduction. It'll help you see where I was coming from. It'll help you connect. Chapter 3 is called Stick to a Schedule. This is the most important thing you can do when you're running this homeschooling, even if you're working, if you're a stay-at-home mom, have a schedule. Also, it kind of shows you how to use consistency as well as rewards and consequences. Please be sure to follow through on your consequences. It also shows you the 21 day method and how we can create a habit. So after 3 weeks of teaching them to listen or to do their work or to do whatever and using your consequence, after 3 weeks, they will listen to you. Believe me, it'll work. It's a little bit of sacrifice if you're taking away their fun iPads or technology. Just breathe. It'll work. Also, for consequences, I never took my children's books away. So I just wanted to let you know that. Chapter 5 is From One Mother to Another. It's a great chapter where I can help connect with how you might be feeling while you're being a mother. We all have those feelings, so please read that chapter. It also has stories of children that I worked with and how they could find their way through problems when they were having problems. So that will be awesome to help you with your own children. Number 9, chapter 9 is Be Friendly, Not Their Friend. This is a big one. We're not here to be their friend. The importance of having peaceful rules, but to follow through with the consequences. Big follow through. Chapter 11 and 12. 11 is Cut the Cord of Technology. 12 is the power of technology. Technology has its good and bad qualities. So read those 2 chapters. The research I did on what these devices can do to young brains is amazing. So read that. Chapter 13, Emotional Intelligence, IQ versus EQ. In public school, in the curriculum, they teach SEL, which is the social and emotional learning. Some kids don't know how to ask for help. Some kids have a hard time working in a group. Like, maybe do some paper mache one weekend with your children, and if they're having a hard time maneuvering or asking for help, this is a time where you can help them learn how to become more aware of how they do things. This is big because when they get into the real world, you all know, parents, you have to be able to communicate with other adults, communicate with others. This is big. Another chapter, if you go back to my chapter 10, it's called Coachable Through Positive Thoughts. In the world of being a scholar athlete, it's really important that the student is seen as coachable. This is where they don't fight back. They're open to whatever ideas and strategies. But this also is a great chapter, an idea for you with your children. Some children love different things: music, sports, all kinds of different things. Have them look up these people that inspire them and get quotes that they have and find out how they endured certain things. Like, for instance, with my children, I know my one daughter who played volleyball always looked up things like read about Michael Jordan and Shaquille O'Neal and how they weren't, picked for certain high school sports, but then they became these greats. Coaches are amazing. These coaches, Vince Lombardi for one. There's so many other. Phil Jackson, he's amazing. Read about what they use and their ideas to help you with your own children. I just wanted you to look at my book. You can find it. It's on Wattpad.com. You use the title or my name, and I'll put it up there for you. This should be very helpful. So last ideas. Create a positive group with other moms and parents. That will be helpful for you. Create a positive home, different inspirational quotes, maybe one every week. Speak positively about the new schooling. This is great. This is a great opportunity. We can learn so much. Teach them their laundry. Teach them how to clean something. Teach them real world things. This is a great time. And then practice your mindfulness. This is the best thing for everybody's well-being. I hope that this helped you. I hope that everything is going to go well for you. And I just hope that as you get through, look me up at www.pilarkellenbarger.com. That's also up on top. That's where you can find my blogs. If you continue to go on Facebook, you can go to my page here, Collecting Our Angels, Nurturing Our Children, and I will have my blogs posted there. I will continue to do videos. If you have questions, leave them on my blog comment area or here, and I will be more than happy to do another video and include your questions or contact you personally. So I hope that this is helpful, and have a peaceful rest of your summer, and just tell yourself, we're going to be able to do this. Our children will progress.